What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Trapper channel, coming to you with the first ever self-produced edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Shout out the Oklahoma City Thunder. They end up taking home the ship. It was a sad thing. I went to Iowa State. Tyrese Halliburton is like our chosen son, even though it was like a half a season and then he gets hurt. And well, that was a disaster in college. It was a disaster here for the Game 7. But obviously, Oklahoma City is a really good basketball team. Sam Presti is better at his job than all of us. So wanted to throw that out there. But producer Jacob was really good at his job as well, Aiden. He's off to greener pastures. He's hanging out with Marshawn Lynch. You're going to hear about some of the fixings from Jacob here sooner rather than later. I'm very proud of him. Very happy for him. But that makes this self-produced on my end. I'm going to try to do the best I can. There's going to be some growing pains over the course of this week. But the important part is the analysis stays the same. You hear me? The analysis will stay the same. We're going to break it down. I'm going to try to do everything in the same vein. Obviously, some of the graphics, we made it work here. I thank you, Joey, my buddy Joey, doing great work, talking me through the ins and outs of the pictures and things of that nature. But we had a great weekend in the premium Discord. That's, I guess, where I can start this off with, because, you know, as I'm clicking buttons on my side, I can do something like this, where it's $5 for your first week, Lindy 5. You guys want to jump into the premium description box below. It's just the description box. There's nothing premium about it. You guys just jump down there and you can jump in the premium Discord. That's the Lindy and Friends Discord. $5 for your first week. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. It's behind my head here as well. But without further ado, producer Eric, that's me, Eric. Eric's a bad man. Shut up. I like Billy Madison. Billy likes orange soda. Oh, yeah, we're going to work on this transition. We're going to figure out how to make it work. But Nick Lodolo, he's going to be going up against the Yankees here. Oh, Yankees win, even though it was a weird baseball game against Baltimore there. I mean, they just go nutties on the 8th. I had so many friends that were on the Yankees run line on that 8:35 a.m. Pacific time start time. And then, yeah, you just saw them cover it in that 8th inning basically alone. Aaron Judge is like the only human who just doesn't get hits anymore, it seems like. What happened to his power? What's going on? He's just fine. I'm just being sarcastic. Nick Lodolo, though, you get him in Great American Small Park. Obviously, the Aaron Judge numbers are so short at open. Ben Rice, so short at open. Giancarlo Stanton, you know he's hitting over 300? I realized that like today, where it was bright green on my sheet, and I was so confused. He ends up getting pitch ran for by Paul Goldschmidt. It's like watching two guys at the retirement home just playing bags together or something. But Nick Lodolo here on the K ladder, that's something to pay attention to, purely because you get a lot of these strikeouts that are extra when you get righties out on the mound instead of, you know, the lefty side. You neutralize Jazz Chisholm, you neutralize Jason Dominguez to some extent, because he is so much better from the left side than the right side. I'd almost like argue stop switch hitting, but that's a conversation for a different day. Austin Wells, obviously from the left side as well, more than likely JC Escarra. Even though every time I see his name, I want to say like Pierre Escargot. But Atlanta taking on the New York Mets. And shout out Sunday Night Baseball for being very profitable in the premium Discord. Kyle Schwarber goes yard. We had Jesus Luzardo over on his Ks, and he stays until the 7th inning. But it's basically just you're getting Schwellenbach against Paul Blackburn, who I've never been a huge fan of. He throws a cutter primarily. He has a slider and a sinker that kind of grade out middle of the road, even back half of the road. And it's not a good road to be on when Spencer Schwellenbach is starting to put it together to some extent. So Atlanta money line, I think they're a little bit undervalued, but not enough for me to pull the trigger right now. Curious, I do think money probably comes in on the Atlanta side, but it's closer to like negative expected value right now. So I'm just going to chill and wait and see what happens to that line, because I can't wait to find out tomorrow. Christian Yelich, he's what the kids would like to call hot right now. Hansel, so hot right now. He's going up against Braxton Ashcraft. That was a brain fart. I just don't. I'm assuming they're related. That'd be weird if they weren't. But I guess it's another Ashcraft in our life. Trying to think of a joke. I don't have one. Yelich, though, has just been absolutely on fire. Anytime he faces a righty here, you got to feel pretty good about some of the lefties going up against him. And, oh, my Minnesota Twins. We'll get to that one with Bailey Ober on the mound today. But Yelich had an amazing series against the Twins. 8 RBIs on, what was it, Friday or Saturday without a run? without a home run, 8 RBIs. That was absurd. Speaking of absurd, Alec Burleson is sneaky saucy here at the moment. He gets to go up against Ben Brown, and the humidity. It's gone up across the entire nation. Heat and humidity. It's gone up across the nation. And St. Louis, a quiet beneficiary when you have the nuclear series that we saw there in Wrigley, which obviously we were on pretty heavily in the premium Discord, even though Sunday, Dominic Canzone. And I generally am a Dominic Canzone guy, so that was a little bit tilting. But Alec Burleson, sneaking naughty here lately, batting third, 16-degree launch angle, 444 expected slugging. And the thing I really love is that Ben Brown's a strikeout pitcher. Alec Burleson is not a strikeout guy, 13.5% K rate. So I'm curious where books open it. I'm still waiting on opening numbers here for a divisional series that has a lot of implications going forward. Boston taking on the Angels, and Boston money line. They're kind of the interesting one to me here. You got Walker Buehler taking on Kakanowicz, and both of those guys are coming off of ridiculous outings in their own rights. Now, Walker Buehler got his face blown in Seattle, and Kakanowicz pitched a gem against the Yankees. But my big thing is that both of these guys are a little bit problematic, and at least Buehler doesn't have to deal with a lot of the lefties, even though righty power, he's given up more this season. It's simply looking at Boston's lineup, thinking they're a little bit undervalued in this spot, but there's a reason they're in the lean section and not the like section. I don't like it right now. And Manny Machado, he's the last guy to highlight. I don't know what's going on with Fernando Tatis. I hope we find out like he's hurt or he's mad at somebody or something. But Mitchell Parker, it's a bad southpaw with launch angle on the mound. And every single time that happens, I feel far more inclined to back Manny Machado than just about anything else on the Padres side. He's still got over a 13-degree launch angle. He still has the 538 expected slugging, and he's always avoiding strikeouts. Not that matters against a 17% K rate for Mitchell Parker, but you give him the platoon in Petco here. I think this is going to be a decent spot to back him at. Again, some of the numbers are just pretty cost prohibitive on some of these other shorter odds guys. Oh, we'll get to one who's actually going to be on the card tomorrow, but just need you paying attention and being price sensitive, except for one person. I think you probably can guess who that's going to be. But just to repeat for the people in the back, $5, Lindy 5. You head to the premium Discord. Lindy 5 gets you everything, all the fixins. The fixins. Where are my southbound and down people at? Anyone? Anyone? You like these sounds? I like these tunes. Lindy 5, though. $5 for your first week to come kick it in the Discord. Get yourself some plays here coming up in 2 seconds, but also get in the Discord. Water's warm, and also we're making a lot of money. So let's do that, and to the plays we go. Play number 1. We got the Texas Rangers taking on the Baltimore Orioles, and hit that like button for me producing for myself here today. It's weird. It's wonky. I feel naked, but not actually naked, because otherwise YouTube would take this video down. We've got ourselves Patrick Corbin taking on Trevor Rogers, and Trevor Rogers had the unfortunate circumstance of having to go out and throw an outing in Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay, it's tough to get a hold on anything there. Only 2 1/3 that he goes there, but I think that's kind of the plan for them, is they're going to turn this over into more of a bullpen style thing. Now, we had 3 walks, 3 earned, 4 strikeouts. It looked okay for Trevor Rogers, but I want to shout out Patrick Corbin because, whether it was the spider bite that he got or whatever it might be, I got to tell you, I'm impressed by what he's done because he's become a serviceable big league pitcher from the shadow realm. He's 35 years of age, 4.33 expected ERA isn't great, but we're talking about 3 consecutive seasons of north of 5.5 expected ERA, actually 4 consecutive seasons of that. So whether it was the Texas Rangers who just said, hey, we found a diamond in the rough, like it's Aladdin or something, but I think Patrick Corbin's actually going to be serviceable going forward. It's just like a middle, like 3rd, 4th pitcher. Do I think he's league average even? No, I don't. 4.33 expected ERA, I guess it's about league average, but I just think he's serviceable, whether that's 40th percentile, 45th percentile, doesn't matter. 9.5 is a huge number. And you're getting 2 southpaws that start this game off in a ballpark that is far more difficult for righty power than lefty power, despite what we've seen with Mookie Betts and Aaron Judge at times when they were in the AL East, or, Mookie Betts was there. Just throwing out that we've got ourselves an interesting one with, and my dog gets up as soon as I hit the first one that I'm clicking the button of, whatever. Everybody say I had to do. He needs attention. Under 9.5. Feel lovely about that one. To game number 2 we go. Arizona taking on the White Sox. This one I don't completely think you should write off in the back of your mind, because I know what you're about to say to me, and that is, we're going to bet the White Sox. Yeah, Arizona's coming out of Coors Field, and this is generally something I like to do against the Rockies, where the Rockies are in Coors Field and they're seeing a ball break a specific way, and then they travel, and you can take advantage of it because there are trends. I'm not a huge trends guy, but there are definitely trends that have shown us that it is profitable to bet against the Rockies. Now, the Rockies are historically bad this season, even though had a pretty good last couple of series against the Natties, against these aforementioned Arizona Diamondbacks, but you've got a very interesting thing here. A very, very interesting thing with none other than Corbin Carroll. Dinged up on the hand, hasn't been in the lineup for the last couple of days. And that freaks me out a little bit. Not just a little bit, a lot of bit. Because I don't think you're going to get him in the lineup here against the White Sox in any capacity. And that has me a little bit uncomfortable because Eduardo Rodriguez has not been the normal Eduardo Rodriguez. Now, the advanced metrics aren't that bad. 34.2% hard hit, 23% K rate, 8% walk rate, 7% barrel percentage. But I just don't think he's been nearly as sharp. And a 255 expected batting average with a 426 expected slugging are not the droids you're looking for. Now, on the other side is Shane Smith. But I've said this, I think 48 times on this program. Shane Smith is about the only White Sox starter that I feel comfortable backing. 374 expected slugging, 321 xWOBA, 21.3% K rates, middle of the road, a little bit below league average, but that's also taking into account bullpen arms. But the 5.8% barrel percentage, and the fact that he's still, even though the walks had been a problem at times, sub 10% in the walk category, without Corbin Carroll in there, and Ketel Marte, I guess, just got the day off, and then he pinch hit at the end of the ninth inning to burn some people I saw on FanDuel, but I think this is a White Sox money line. Is spectacular. In fact, amongst the three plays that I'm throwing out there, this is my favorite at the current numbers because the next one we get to is obviously a very short number. White Sox money line, and obviously don't look at the Seattle, Minnesota thing. It's a mistake on my part. Because then we go to Seattle and Minnesota to round it out here. Play number 3. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all the things. I got to figure out like the thumbnails too. I got to figure out how to do that on the YouTubes. Guys, I've been very reliant on other people on this program for very, very long, and those days are over. So Seattle taking on my Minnesota Twins, and graphic looks lovely there in this capacity. But Cal Raleigh, I mean, what we just witnessed at Wrigley Field is stupendous, ridiculous. Now, Target Field is not a one-for-one swap, but it's hot. It's humid. And even with the wind not being like perfect, blowing out or anything, it's coming in slightly from right. We get Bailey Ober on the mound. Bailey Ober is a disaster this season. Sub 18% K rate. That was the only thing keeping him in the big leagues. He's only 29 years of age. I hope we can find it again because this is my team, but he had a 27% K rate last season. He has a sub 18% K rate this season, 17.8%. If you're not striking out Cal Raleigh, you're in deep shit. And I have bet Cal Raleigh a lot this year. Now, I haven't bet him as much lately, especially over the weekend where we're seeing plus 130, plus 140 on Sunday in a game environment that I didn't think was as good as Saturday's game environment. Of course, Cal Raleigh hits a home run immediately on Sunday, and he's up to 31 of those smackaroos. Ridiculous stuff from Cal Raleigh this season. Big dumper, big thumper, just doing amazing work. But I think we're going to be able to back him here because I have his break-even number at plus 165 against Bailey Ober. You're going to find something better than plus 165 tomorrow. I'm seeing plus 180, plus 175 already. So no matter what, this can be on the card for you. And I want to throw in one special because I do think there are going to have to be effective ways that we can actually look at like a Cal Raleigh or an Aaron Judge going forward. And Aaron Judge, he's always had this going, but it's going to start happening to Cal Raleigh. Walks, home runs, and walks. Cal Raleigh has played himself into this stratosphere of just being that dude no matter what. And don't mind me just getting blasted in the ear as I'm going through this here. But Cal Raleigh home run plus walk is kind of the combination that I'm looking for. I think it's the combination you're looking for as well. My dog is getting very, very antsy. It's later than I normally record this. But anywho, shout out the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shout out Cal Raleigh. Let's get the heck up out of here. I'm going to have to learn some transitions. Anywho, that does it for another edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. I promise you, it's only going to improve from here. It's only going to improve. Got a lot of the same graphics, a lot of the great things, but 9 games, 3 plays for you here now, and Premium Discord, you know what's coming. A lot more where that came from. Hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate you. You appreciate me. We appreciate each other. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on